What is going on, my guys? I'm Adam Hughes. Today we're doing something a little different. Last week I made a poll on YouTube asking if you guys would like to see my setup and how I record my gameplay and how I edit my gameplay. In less than 12 hours, I got 200 votes and 75% of you guys said yes. Therefore, we're going to take a look at my setup and see how I record and edit my gameplay. The reason why I wanted to do this video was when I first started my YouTube, there really wasn't much of an explanation on how to set up and record your gameplay. Another reason is I get asked two questions, whether it's on Xbox Live or on YouTube. Sorry to the people I don't message back. I try to get to a lot of them, but I receive a ton a day. The questions are, how do I record my gameplay and how I edit my gameplay? I don't know what to do with my hands. I feel like Ricky Bobby here, just it's one of those things, if you don't know how to do it, it's very complicated and it's overwhelming. However, once you know how to do it, it's easy and you're just like, how did I not know this? It's so easy. I'm going to try to be concise yet informative. We're gonna see how that goes though. We'll see how it goes. Before we get started though, there are multiple ways on how to do this. This is my preference. My process and my methods are different from a lot of other YouTubers, so most of you guys might not have seen this on another video. I'm pretty positive you guys will learn at least something new watching this video. So let's start off with an overview of my setup. I have two TVs over here. The top one is the one I mainly use to play video games and watch TV. And the bottom one I really use just to edit. So I have a dual screen, I have my main video up there and all the editing stuff down there. And I know people are gonna be like,
why don't you play on a smaller TV? It's better for gaming.
Well, one, I don't care that much. Two, I really don't play a lot of shooters on my PC. The lights are very important. Lights are everything, especially if you're a YouTuber, if you do vlogging, or if you do a makeup tutorial, or if you do cinematography, or just pretty much any YouTube channel out there, lighting is important. If you guys see my channel, I like to go for the darker type of theme, so that's why my videos are kind of dark whenever you see me. I have three lights. This one back here is used to create depth in the room. This light over here is to brighten up the room so you can see my face a little bit better. And this light over here, which is my favorite light because it has two lighting settings on it. You can adjust the yellow and the white to give whatever tone you want to. Yes, that is a white foam board, 88 cents from Walmart. I use that as a diffuser, so whenever the light hits the board, it reflects back at me and it makes the lighting less harsh on my face, which you can probably see in my early videos. Now let's look at my audio. I use two pieces of audio. I use a blue snowball mic, which is recorded with my gameplay. And I have the Rode Mic Pro Plus on top of my camera right now. You don't need all this expensive equipment to get started. This cost me about $50 at Target, and this was here ever since my first video. Actually, when I first started my YouTube, I bought a GoPro a year prior, and I just used that, and I used this mic over here for my first video. It's not the best of the setup, but it worked for me. So pro tip, always use two audio devices no matter what you do. Even if it's a gaming channel or just whatever you do, always use two pieces of audio. What's the reasoning behind this? One, you can sync up the clips when you're editing them just using the audio. Two, if one of the audios happens to die midway through or one of them just sounds terrible, you can use the other one. So recently I bought a boom mic stand over here, which I can get the Rode mic closer to my face. They're meant to be close, which is why it's good for vloggers, because they're always having the camera at arm's length when they're talking. I got the extended 3.5mm cord running through here all the way down here, and it'll go to my camera, which goes on the stand over here. But whenever I'm not using it, I just plug the other end up here so it's not in the way. So the camera that I use is the Canon 80D, which is what's filming me right now. I like it because you can flip the camera screen over and you can see what the camera's seeing while I'm sitting down. So the camera's over there. I flip the screen over back at me so I can see what it's seeing, and then there's a red dot that appears on the screen. It lets me know I'm recording, and whenever it stops recording I can see it as well. This is why I love the Canon 80D so much. It's beautiful. And a small tip is to use tape to mark your equipment, like I have over here under my light. I taped off where each leg should go. A lot of filmmakers and YouTubers do this. The reason why is if you want to take these down, because you have company coming over, if you want to use the camera, take the tripod out. So when you come back, you can just set down the tripod where it needs to go instead of trying to get the angle right, the lighting right, and all that. You'll stay about 20 minutes doing this. And trust me on this, you'll thank me later. I use medical tape, so it's easy to come on and off. And finally, let's take a look at my computer. So over here, so it's an entry-level VR PC, cost me about $800 from Best Buy. It's nothing fancy. The main selling part for me that it can run games on the highest setting and the blue light. That was one of the selling points for me. It is a GeForce 1060 Intel Core i5, 1 terabyte of memory with 4 terabytes of external memory. And it has a blue light in it because that's pretty cool. I haven't had any problems with it. It's doing me good so far. I do have a tip, again, another tip for you. Clean it out at least every 2 weeks. That'll help maintain its performance and give it a longer lifespan. So now, how do I record my gameplay? Well, let's start off with how I record my console gameplay. So if you look on the back of the PC, I use the Elgato HD60S. Can't forget the S. So yes, I got it marked because it's a little confusing sometimes. So this cable right here runs to the back of the PC. So on this side it says in, you run this HDMI cord into the Xbox. This side over here that says out, you run the HDMI cord to the back of the TV and you're good to go. So now let's head over back to the PC. I'll open up the Game Capture HD app. So over here you can see a live view of my console. I'm moving the controller up and down right now. And what's great about this is you can hook up your mic over here and you can live stream to YouTube, but I'm not gonna get into any of that. Say you're ready to start recording. Come over to this red button, click it. Now you're recording. Once you're done recording, come over here, hit the red button again. You're done recording. So say it's a big video file. It's gonna take a couple minutes for it to render. Come over here to edit, and there will be a blue bar right here. That's your video being rendered. After it's done, come over here to File Explorer, go to PC, go to Videos. Under EGC Library will be all your video files. All these are my video files from Hello Neighbor. Just click on one, here's the video right there. That is how I record my console gameplay. So, how do I record my PC gameplay? I use the GeForce Experience. So come over here, open up the GeForce Experience, select in-game overlay. As right now you can see that we're recording, but if we wasn't, click this and it will say start recording. Hit that and you're recording. I'll show you guys the settings I have on GeForce. So go to settings, come down to video capture. So these are my current settings. I don't ever use instant replay length, so we don't gotta worry about that. The quality I use is always on high. The resolution is in-game. Frame rate is 60 frames per second. And my bit rate is 50. Now go back and click audio. System sound 100. The microphone I use is the Blue Snowball. And what this is asking is for you to select a microphone that you want to use to record your commentary. My volume is 100, my boost is 0. So this is the important part. Since I'm recording, you can't see it, but it'll say create a single track. Don't click that one. And then over here it's going to say separate both tracks. Make sure you select separate both tracks. This is very, very, very important. I can't stress that enough.
But why is it so important, Adam?
So there are 2 reasons why this is very important. One, while editing in post, you kind of link the gameplay audio and link up all the footage using the commentary audio on both of them, which I'll explain later. 2, if the gameplay audio is a little loud and is drowning out your commentary, you could turn down the gameplay and level out both audios. If you created a single track, both your gameplay audio and your commentary is one track, which means you can't sync them automatically or you can't isolate that super loud gameplay audio. And finally, how do I record my Facecam? I use the Canon 80D. I have my camera hooked up to a micro HDMI cord that runs to my desktop, which I got at Best Buy for about $10. So this thing will pop up like you're seeing now once I turn on the camera. You can adjust most of the settings on here. You can see the audio level over here. And whenever I'm ready to record, I come over here, open up the EOS utility app, if it hasn't popped up already. Come over here, click this red circle, and now I'm recording. Now that we got that all covered, let's say I'm actually about to start playing a game. Everything is ready, my GeForce is recording, my camera's recording. All I have to do is play the game, but before I do, I'll say 1, 2, 3. I overkill it. What's the reason? It helps sync up the clips. After that, play your game and you're done. And lastly, how do I edit my gameplay? I use Adobe Premiere Pro. There are different video editing softwares such as Final Cut and Vegas. However, my preference is Premiere Pro because it is more professional. And if you guys ever seen the TV show called Atlanta, they edit every single episode in Adobe Premiere Pro. And if it's good enough for them, it's good enough for me. However, Premiere's learning curve is a lot harder than most video editing softwares out there. Like I said, I am self-taught, and everything I learned on YouTube with hours and hours and hours of videos. Peter McKinnon is a great guy to watch and learn Adobe Premiere Pro. He's exceptional, I love the guy. Anyways, open up Adobe Premiere Pro. And while it's loading, I open up my YouTube app. Peter McKinnon, he's actually the first guy on my feed. I don't know if you guys can see that, but he's right there. He's in my phone, living inside it. So what you want to do is hit open up a new project. Name it whatever you want to call it. YouTube demo, let's call it that. So what you want to do is get your gameplay footage. Let's get the gameplay footage, drag it down here into the timeline. So this is from the GeForce Experience. The top one's the gameplay, the middle one is the gameplay audio, and here's my commentary. Let's just cut that down, make it easier. Let's cut that. Find your Facecam footage, come down here, place it down. Make sure it doesn't overlap on any of the other ones. Place it, let it load. So before we do any type of edits, the first thing we have to do is sync up both clips. There are two ways to do it. There's an automatic way and there's a manual way. Let me just lower this one so you can tell what's what. So right here I got my gameplay footage, and the top and bottom is my Facecam footage and audio. So for the automatic way, we must first come over here to the gameplay footage, unlink it, move aside the gameplay audio. Once the gameplay audio is out of the way, come over here and link up the gameplay footage and your commentary audio. Link. Now select your Facecam and your gameplay footage. Right click, come up to synchronization. Make sure it's on audio because that's how it's going to sync up. It's going to sync up by the audio. Hit OK. It's processing right now. Some cases it will line up and everything's matched up. It's easy as that. You're good to go. However, 95% of the time it fails to synchronize on its own. And this brings us to the manual way. There are two ways to do the manual way. So the first manual way is to drag one of the clips and do your best to line it up. So we will zoom this in. So let's say right here and right there we want to get those to match up. These clips don't go together, those are some random clips that I put together. And zooming in all the way, I want to get this one over here to match up just a little bit. And let's say that's matched up, and we will hit play and it's going to match up. This works for me about 90% of the time. The second manual way is to come over here and select the audio tab. Let's come up, unlink the gameplay footage, double click on the commentary audio. Before I do anything, I'm going to show you guys something. This is as far as I can get in, and see I can't do anything in between, it just jumps me over. So I'm going to come over here, hit show audio tab units, and now I can zoom in closer. So I'm going to come over here, unlink the audio clips. So let's say this is clap 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to find the first clap. The reason why I do 3 of them is if the first one gives me a hard time, I could just move the second clap or the third. So let's move in. So once I find a noticeable peak level in the audio, which is about right here, because here's the major increase, the first one that I see, I'm going to link everything back together and come over here to mark in, and now we're good to go. Now do the same thing with the Facecam footage. Find the same noticeable peak in that audio level. And after you hit mark in, you did the same thing. You get it, move it over here. You see how it's lined up automatically. And everything should be set to go. Now you're synced up. I'm not going to go into great detail on how to edit the rest, but now you guys have at least everything synced up for you guys to edit the clips. For I knew video editing and Premiere, this gave me tons of stress. Just how to do this, just to even get started. Like, what do I do? How do I start this? I'm so lost. Hopefully this video will help cut down your stress as you start your YouTube channel. And if I had any tips to give you guys, it would be one, always be yourself. Don't copy somebody else's personality. We have a ton of gaming channels of people who scream way too much. We don't need any more of them. Be yourself. It's nice and refreshing to see somebody new. And number two, do it as a passion. Don't do it as a way to get paid. A ton of YouTubers say that the hardest thing about being a YouTuber is pushing out a video each week. And I too can relate to that. It could take at least a year to 4 years to even get noticed. Hopefully this helped you guys. I'll see you guys next week, Wednesday, 12 p.m. Eastern Time. Peace. Yeah, so, this will do.
Silly.
I was thinking about doing a gangster squat, like, you know what I mean? And it got, you know, it got that cool blue light, you know what I mean?
Is that what gangsters do?
Yeah, you know, like, checking out my crib, you know?
Welcome to my crib.
Yeah.
Welcome to my gaming crib.
Welcome to my gaming crib.
This is how gamers do.